Perfect, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to tonight's meeting on. Am I getting feedback? No.
No, you said morning.
Oh, sorry. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's Environment Committee meeting on Monday, the 18th. Apologies for absence, please.
Yeah, we've got Councillor McKinnon, Councillor Bond, and Councillor Ellis. I think and I haven't mentioned Councillor Dale, but have you?
I haven't, which is unusual, but Councillor Jay Taylor also won't be joining us this is
Okay, sorry.
Thank you. Do we have any declarations of interest? None. And disclosable pecuniary interest? Is that a yes?
I'm just contemplating. We've got some discussion about the Jiggly Wood and but nothing controversial.
Well, that's just going to be an update.
It's just an update, yeah, so yeah. Can't really update it from the kitchen.
No. No, I think if we were considering like a quotation or something, computer speaking, it'd be a little bit different, but that's fine, Andy, thank you. Item 4, public participation. Mr. Thwaites, Mr. Fraser? Anything from the public gallery?
No, thank you.
Item 5, minutes of the Environment Committee on the 20th of November 2023. I'd like to think everyone's read them in advance of the meeting, so if I could have a proposer and a seconder for their approval or any amendments, please. Thank you. A seconder, please. Anyone? Councillor Taylor.
Yeah, it was only me that was there.
Oh, okay. It's only the president, but 12 hands, please. Yeah. Thank you. Next, we have actions arising from the outstanding actions. Sharon, as per our last meeting, would you like to do a run through? Sharon, to get them on track?
Yeah. Yeah, locations for cycle racks. We haven't. You've approved a location, but that's, as I said, the last meeting. Picnic benches. I'm going to be meeting with John sometime this week. We go on those, and then we will look at locations there. So I'll be able to report that at the next meeting. Gateway signs. I have submitted the parish partnership application in good time, so that's the deadline is the 8th of December. So you probably won't hear anything until quite quiet until around about sort of February time.
Thank you.
The cemetery hedges update. We have had some correspondence from concerned members of the public. But we have written back to them to assure them that the hedges at this point are not, and in all likelihood will stay. And we've had quite good, we have had favourable feedback about the hedging, so we've had no adverse comments. So hopefully that's assuaged their fears. I haven't done anything about Queen Square Cinema apart from looking at what I'm supposed to do. My next task is to look at costings, and I believe you've got some costings previously from the Attleborough Retail Group.
Yeah, but I don't think that they'd probably be interested in coming back. Certain members were so negative. I think that just really detracted from what they were hoping to do and dampened their spirits. And I don't.
But I
never say never.
I think it is something that would be beneficial for the community. Like, I think it would just be a nice thing. So perhaps it's something that we can look to do ourselves.
Yeah.
And we could reach out to the retail group or the FunFest team or other organisations that are kind of like-minded, see if they'd like to assist. Or
so really you regard it as almost like a fresh project.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think
that'd be the better way to go.
Okay, I should do that. The youth club storage, I've and venue update. I have visited the upper part of the library, and that's been very interesting because they have now about the library service now runs the whole building. It's sort of like almost like a watering bay. It's got a lot of rooms now available to hire, which is going to be handy for us because if we can't accommodate anybody, we now know that there are rooms available to be hired as sort of like a backup for residents and individuals and also groups. But I did ask while I was there about, was there a possibility that they could house the youth club? So they're now going to be looking at that. I'm not promising anything. There could be pros and cons for doing that because it is upstairs. The only comment that immediately came back was that the largest room is immediately above the actual library itself. So they're just.
I don't know, the library would be open when a youth club would want to be in there.
Yeah.
But I think, in all fairness, that building actually was supposed to house our youth club.
Yeah.
And they closed our youth club down, and that extension was built. They actually promised the organisation that run the youth club at the time use of that building, but as is with the nature of the beast, children can be messy and unruly.
Yeah.
And it was a nice new spangly building, and after a couple of months they were like, oh yeah, we've changed our mind, chewing gum over
Yeah,
tables
but I've
and
asked
stuff.
again, so you don't know, it could be that, if they want the income and everything.
Which is good, because then the youth club will have two venues as a possible.
Yeah, I have got another one in mind, but I haven't spoken to our organisation yet, so I won't say that in public.
Well, no, they've already had an offer, haven't they, from somewhere else?
Well, I don't know.
We'll,
Okay,
Sharon, you
fair
were in
enough,
that
yeah.
meeting, love. We were all in that meeting together. We'll pick it up.
We'll pick it up,
Sharon.
okay, yeah, sorry, gone blank, yeah. Benches, yeah, the benches, I have heard back from the owners of the building.
Oh, lovely.
And they have got no objections to us refurbishing the bench or replacing them. So my suggestion was, I don't know how you feel about that, is to refurbish this, put fresh slats on. But if you wanted brand new benches, which look a bit more modern, but obviously the old benches do look traditional, but if they're painted up.
If the lads can do that, if the lads feel they can do it, Sharon, then.
Yeah, you just want some benches that are fit for purpose.
Yeah.
So it's up to you really.
Do you feel like you need a resolution for that, or?
If I speak to the chaps first and then, see if they can do it, which I'm pretty sure they can.
Because I think the committee's already resolved that they wanted
Yeah.
the benches
Doing.
replacing, whether or not that's in part or in full.
It's
It's
just an
just the
option.
flats replacing rather than the whole bench.
Yeah.
I think there's probably enough leeway there to get it
But I
done.
feel
But
sure
it
that if
needs to
you've
come
got the
back-
right colour on the metal, that could be really smart and nice and traditional as well. That's up to you.
No,
Yeah,
I think that's
Yeah.
I think that's good. Thank you.
And church wall update, the engineer's report
It's been issued.
has been issued, yeah, we have got that, haven't we? So that has been sent to church. Now they've asked us to fill in an online diocese form, a couple of diocese forms, which I haven't actioned yet, because I was a little bit concerned that I don't know how involved we are with the church wall, as in, I thought the town council was just paying. But are we supposed to take on, obviously now paid for a survey, now we're being asked to do an online report, answering questions that we perhaps don't know.
It's random how it works. The closed cemetery becomes the responsibility of the local authority.
Yeah, if that ever did happen.
Well, it is a closed cemetery, there's no more burials in there.
It's a closed cemetery, but there has to be a procedure that the church hasn't been able to satisfy me that they've ever followed.
That's interesting.
Section
We've always
215
been led to
Local
believe.
Government Act states, because they're under the impression that section 215 means that you automatically are given responsibility as a town council, but it doesn't matter. They have to actually apply to, and ask you if you will take it on as a town council. You also can refuse, it's not automatic, and if you refused, it would then go to the district council to take on. So I did ask the church last week, because I need to know, because you may be paying for a church wall or anything else to do with churchyard, when you as the town council aren't actually responsible.
Sharon, you may or may not know, in the instance where obviously there has been damage to the church wall before,
Yeah,
and then we've paid to put right,
I am aware.
have we then
taken on responsibility.
I don't
Just
know why you
by-
take- yeah, my only concern is that you've taken it on because people are under the wrong impression. If the church come back and say to us, oh, you know, in 1962, we applied, you accepted, I don't think that ever did happen in my opinion.
Well, all I can say is thank you for your due diligence. It's quite refreshing.
Yeah, well, if you don't mind, I will, but I also am having a meeting with, the curate, sometime next week, not next week, but after Christmas, sorry. And, you know, just to hear what they have to say, they have some projects in mind or whatever, and hopefully we can resolve it. It might take quite some time, because we might have to go through all the minutes dating back to 1886, because that's when I think that's when the churchyard was closed. I don't think we'll have to do that. I'm putting the, you know, the onus upon the church.
Especially in the job for another year.
If the church words to me, no, you automatically take it on. I don't think that they are aware of what they were supposed to do, because that is one of these little intricacies that you.
Yeah, we'd always been led to believe, well, for the last like 15 years that I've dipped in and out of the council, we've been led to believe that we
And at the end
responsible
of the
for
day, if it's established that it's not, they can now.
Why
that
you
they're
having to
aware and
ask
you're-
about the clock then? Because the clock bugs
That's
me.
all part and
Because it's the
parcel.
church clock. This
Yeah.
is the town clock, because
Yeah.
it's on the town hall.
Yeah.
I always think, but we've spent thousands and thousands on the church clock.
And the pathways. Pathways, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, there's two things to that. If you do decide, if like, for instance, we've established that, that process has never taken place, the church has got a right to still apply. So you could then deal with it in the present day and choose if you want to take it on or not. And if you do, fine, then that's all above board and legal. But if you decide not to, then get off to the district council. But the other aspect is, I believe that the law is changing anyway. It doesn't help you for what has happened in the past, but I think they're now trying to put through a bill that allows town and parish councils to contribute to a church. You know, I'm not sure if it goes so far as the fabric, but it does go, you know, the sort of like grounds of the church, whatever. But so that piece of legislation, I'm told, is in at the moment. So things are changing anyway. So
See, I know,
Watch this space.
although the church closed many years ago, I think it was only in the last 18 months, our last resident that actually had a right to a plot in the churchyard passed away, but his family chose not to use it.
right, yeah. Interesting, yeah. But I will try and engage the help of the Heritage Group, because I've linked in with them, and they might come up with something, they may not. But I just sort of suspect that if the church are under the impression that, you know, it's automatic, then perhaps they never did realise that they should have applied properly. But I'll send you the legislation if you like by email, so that you can have a look at yourself. It clearly says it has to be by resolution. You have to make a resolution to accept. Yeah.
Thank you, Sharon.
Interestingly, if it is by resolution, why would a local or why would a town council ever want to take it on?
Because back in the day they did, didn't they?
Yeah.
And a lot of, if you look around the room, a lot of the members on the walls actually were heavily affiliated with the church.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a more of community responsibility.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, I didn't want to put a spanner in the works, but at the same time, I felt uncomfortable if I didn't say anything. Because I was aware that obviously historically you have paid towards it. You have to make sure that you're paying money out legally, don't you? That's
I think we was lucky with the last one. The young lad did actually pay it off in instalments, didn't he?
He's still doing
He's
it.
still is.
bless
Yeah,
him.
he is.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Okay. Moving on, we have correspondence, paint regarding the use of the wheel park after 9 PM for consideration and resolution.
Yeah, I just thought you ought to have that correspondence because, you know, it's just important if you know that there is a complaint. And I hope I've dealt with it correctly and to the satisfaction of the resident. My next task is, which I've written out today, the officer concerned is not back till tomorrow. So I've just asked for a meeting, which hopefully I'm hoping that you will be able to attend, and also Ted and myself. And when the enforcement officer comes back, we will have a chat to him. And I'm hoping to just visit the site so we can look at what the sort of issues are, and is there any possible resolution to this. So, and then I'll report back to the next meeting.
Thank you. And just to add to that as well, I think that you should receive a positive response from the enforcement officer, because I have previously approached him about this.
Yeah.
And in the past couple of weeks, he had confirmed to me in writing that he would be happy to accommodate a meeting,
Great.
which you've just described. So
Lovely.
hopefully we'll come
Yeah.
back to you.
Yeah, hopefully soon. We can hopefully meet. I think it's probably won't be able to fit it in before Christmas, but yeah.
In the new year. Thank you, Sharon. Does anyone else have any comments on that? We'll move on. Okay. Item 8, which is the Jubilee Wood update for information.
Yeah, I'm just chasing the surveys at the moment. So we've had one that's come in, which I believe is the flood risk assessment. Ground conditions I have chased, and also,
We're having the ground investigation company that we use are very busy at the moment, so
okay.
they'll be able to get in reasonably promptly after the new year.
Okay.
And turn the report around as quickly as possible.
Oh, that's lovely, thank you, yeah. And the other one was the topographical, which I did chase this morning, and they didn't want to give me a call back. So I'll have to chase that again tomorrow, so.
And the lady from the Norfolk Wildlife Trust is waiting for those surveys to be completed before advising. Is
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah, I mean, you've already, I think you've had a copy of the correspondence, haven't you? Where she's given her ideas as to how we can sort of like go forward with it environmentally. So it's really nice that they are going to, I think they're not going to pay, but they are going to, you know, give us lots of input. And also, I believe they've advised that we should engage a consultant to help us with costings and, you know, the actual project itself once we've got the information on the surveys. So it's all taking shape. The only thing I think, isn't there something to do with these land transfer, the variation of obligation? Variation of obligation, yeah, which I'm going to. Yes, that's right. I haven't forgotten that, and that is also now on the radar. So yeah, I'll be
Okay, thank you.
looking at that. I think there's got to be some liaison with the school about, you know, the variation, just to make sure that, you know, the big chunk of land. We'll have to go back to that. Yeah.
Thank you, Sharon. Next, item 9, decoy common update on progress.
Yeah, not much more from last time, but again, on the radar is the fact that we still need to look into fencing, because we need to make sure that the area is safe. On the site visit, I did notice that the farmer had some barbed wire fencing, which is not really great when you've got an open space the other side of it. That's really actually health and safety hazards. So we did have a little chat to the grounds team today, and they said that perhaps if we do put fencing up, we'll just put it in front of it, so that you know, we could ask the farmer to take it down, but it's
been there as long as I can remember. Do you remember when Alf jumped in, caught his fur on it, and ripped a big patch of his, literally, it just left bare flesh. He took a piece of his skin out.
Makes you wonder how the other
Like
dogs
that.
come across it.
Oh, he was alert. He was chasing something cute and fluffy in the field next door.
Wouldn't do that anymore.
No.
Okay, so yeah, so fencing is the next thing to look at, but I just need to, I think I've got to look at the extent of the land where the boundaries are. That's what I've got to check. So.
Thank you. And myself and Sharon were just talking at the beginning of the meeting, and some of these big project items, so the Jubilee Woodland, the decoy common, possibly the town hall accessibility, these will be standing items from now on, so they'll come back each month for updates. Yeah. So that we don't drop the ball. Next is item 10, which is the town hall accessibility for information.
Yeah, well, now that I'm working full time and I don't have that other job, I can actually get the team stuff into that. So, you know, I've had the fire service have kindly come out and given us an assessment of the building, just to make sure that, you know, any questions that we asked about keeping doors open, door stops, what's available out there. it's better that the fire service advised us because, if you get a company in, not that they all do that, but sometimes they do try and upsell it, don't they? So I'd rather get it from the fire service, and then I know what can, what needs doing, what doesn't need doing, what's high risk, low risk, medium risk, and everything. So, so we have had I've had a good think about our procedures and everything. So I'm hoping to go into that in a bit more detail, and repairs and things like that. I think I should take that on board and leave that if you don't mind. Yeah.
Whilst we're putting things on your list for that to do then, and I'm going to be facetious that those curtains have been there so long, they're probably not fire retardant anymore.
Those
Not
ones,
to mention they look freaking awful.
yeah.
Can we have new curtains?
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, they're definitely a mix of both. Yeah. I also just want to bring to your attention that, you know, this might be a full council matter, but you know, looking at, you know, obviously the chairs, I know that they are nice and traditional and everything. These tables are great because, but just sort of like just trying to make things a little bit more ergonomical and also accessible for the staff who have to lug them as well. I've got a bit of a concern that they are, you know, they could cause back problems and what have you. So at some point, can we think about, you know,
This is where we set up a public meeting at Connaught Hall the other day. Their chairs were lovely, weren't they?
But they fit their venue. We've got a traditional
yeah,
building
it
that's
would be like that.
listed inside down to even as far as what varnish goes on the paneling.
Absolutely, yeah.
Grey plastic fold up chairs in it. And
It-
whilst I
no,
appreciate
that's
these
not
tables are
appropriate. No,
wonderful
not
for
at all.
the
Yeah.
staff, they are blooming hideous in this environment, especially when
Yeah.
you're doing a wedding or a funeral.
Yeah,
They look awful.
yeah. Well, what we'll do is we'll explore what is out there because we might get something that fits the personality of the hall, you know, the chamber or whatever. So, yeah, but just to sort of say that, you know, maybe we can look at that
Something
and
else
also
to
look
look
at
at.
the way we take the bookings as well, which minimises the amount of time that we actually spend helping.
A lot of places
Hires.
get you to set up themselves,
My point of time.
like Connaught Hall do.
Yeah,
But although I lay my stuff out, I just
Yeah.
put it out generic, and if they move it about, they move it about.
yeah. That was, you know, one thing that I'd like to look at, that if I may.
And also, if we are going to look at how the bookings work,
Yeah,
actually the administrative side of that as well, whether or not we could take online bookings so that it
Yeah.
actually saves a little bit of callers' time.
yeah, I'm all for that, yeah.
But a lot of places make you hoover and mop up and everything. If
Yeah.
I go and do outside catering,
Yeah.
like me and mum go anywhere,
Yeah.
literally you have to wash the kitchens down, sweep the floors, mop the floors, everything. You leave it as you find it.
Yeah, that's it,
And
yeah.
you even have to take your own bin
Yeah.
bags.
So you're very good to your hirers, but you know, at the same time, that is man hours that could be used in another way. So, yeah, but that's anyway, that's accessibility. And when I was at the, I don't know whether you want me to do that, but do you want me to look at repairing the lift? Because
We need
I think
to,
we should look at
that
it
is.
and assess whether or not it's
I
cost
have to know that the
effective.
company that does the library one, so I've got the name of the company now, so we could at least start there.
I think that was what the resident really wanted
Yeah.
us to look at,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Just
So,
a
yeah.
suggestion. Do we think that it might be useful? Because I think something like this, obviously there's so many layers to it. About the accessibility of the hall, whether is it user friendly, or you know, do we need better access for people that have additional needs or disabilities?
Yeah.
Perhaps a small workshop for members to actually just thrash out some of these ideas to
Yeah.
give some steer to yourself, Sharon,
Yeah.
without the formalities of this chamber.
Yeah.
So that it's not, this meeting doesn't then become a talking shop,
Yeah.
but we can have a workshop.
Yeah.
And then come back
Yeah.
with some more detailed, refined proposals
Half
from
a
that
dozen
workshop.
dollars a packet of post-its and a nice A3 sheet of paper.
Just to talk about
Sounds good.
what we think accessibility is, you know,
Yeah,
what
that sounds good.
the hall's used for, and do you know what I mean, how we can improve
Megan might be able to
facilities
come in and
and
help with that.
Yeah, I'm sure she'd
Yeah.
be happy to, yeah.
so I just think rather than make this a talking shop about accessibility,
Yeah, that's
Um,
fine, yeah, I just wanted
if
to,
we
yeah,
could
just sort of.
have like a workshop for all members, not just our committee, because I think it's the town hall, it's, do you know what I mean, it's a big
Yeah.
part of the council.
Yeah,
It'd be good to have all members involvement.
Brilliant. Yeah, that sounds
And then
perfect.
come back with maybe some direction.
Yeah.
That's good. Does anyone else have anything they want to add before I move on? No. Next is item 11, the land at St Edmunds Close, possible development opportunities. How are you getting on with that, Sharon?
Yeah, the solicitor has been engaged, and so those details have been passed to Brecon solicitors. But I just thought we'd progress that slightly a bit more, you know, just start getting some ideas on what we want to do with that land now that we're going to get it. So that was just opening up to you to.
I think maybe even a little like brainstorming workshop for that.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I said it at the time and I'll say it again. I think, given the size and location of the land, I think it would make a very nice, accessible, talking about accessibilities, accessible allotment. Obviously, we've got 3 allotment sites in the town at the moment. None of them are particularly accessible if you have any additional needs or disabilities. I think some raised beds, even if it's just, you know, you've got a bad back.
Yeah.
I think it would be nice to have that option. And also, I think for small children and families, if there was raised beds, it might be more appealing.
Yeah.
So that is my idea. And then we'd get an income from it as well, a small annual income. But anything that generates an income into the council rather than no income at all, I think can only be a good thing.
Can we do some of these workshops on a Saturday, though, maybe Saturday morning, so members that work so we get maximum coverage for our members.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it, to find sort of.
I mean, you don't necessarily have to attend, Sharon. I don't expect it to eat into your personal time.
Yeah.
If it is just a case of some post-its and big sheet of paper and we're all just writing things on and sticking them on, we can get together between ourselves to do that. It doesn't have to.
I think our council meetings are normally the 1st and 3rd Monday of the month. It could be the 2nd or the 4th or the 5th if there's 5 Mondays in the month. So it could be an alternative Monday just to stick with a little bit of routine. And I think Mondays will have become the evening that members associate with council.
I mean, it doesn't need to be long, does it? It can only be like 15 minutes, really. Just
I think
jotting everything down.
to do something properly.
Yeah, but if we're just generating a sheet to work from, people can come with ideas. It's just putting them on paper. And
would it be maybe have a site meeting at St Edmunds Close?
Yeah,
because
that
then
might
you
be
can
nice.
go and see the land and you can see what's going.
What you could do is ask the public as well to attend that, get their opinions and ideas.
That's great.
you can do a little Facebook poll on the town council's Facebook page.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, great.
Does that sound like some good information?
Very good.
And we'll set some dates within ourselves by email to press that. Item 12, Lowland Road play area update.
Yeah, obviously I haven't, from the last information that I've given you, we haven't got the Section 106 money anymore, so that will be something that I have to try and raise some funding for. So there are plenty of grant funding opportunities out there, but now I'm full-time, I can devote the time to do that. One of the quotas, if you like, the company is gonna have sort of FaceTime, and he's going to show me what he's drafted up so far. So he's going to do that on Tuesday. So I did mention to him that we haven't got the funding now. He didn't seem overly worried about that, so he didn't withdraw or anything. So I just said it might take a little bit longer. So yeah, so it would be interesting to see what he's.
Oh, it might even just be that once it comes to like fruition that the prices got a small increase.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and also these companies also have they also know where the funding is as well. So he said he's going to give me a list of a small list of grant funders as well that I could apply to. So the play company is quite happy to help you on that aspect as well. So
They are good. When I've done the application for the trim trail on Gamers, the bloke that we went with, for the National Lottery Reforming,
yeah.
and all Karen had to do then was sign it.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, that's good. Oh, he might do that, you never know.
Thank you. Next, we have item 13, Blackthorn Road, possible development opportunity.
Same thing, maybe we can do what we're gonna do with St Edmund's Close. I don't know if you have previously discussed anything that you wanted to improve that area.
Not really,
Not as a council.
not as a council. I think it was just mainly, obviously, there is some funds available, which currently remain the same, although there was, it was said that they might come down slightly
Yeah.
for the maintenance up until now, that Brecon have undertaken, but it currently stands at 73,000. Obviously at present, the land's in Brecon Council's ownership, and we've expressed an interest to take it.
Yeah.
Which they have said would be possible. Blackthorn Road is a very nice open space.
Yeah.
It's very large open space, and I think actually a lot of the people that use it, whether it's children kicking the ball around or if it's people walking their dogs, I think if we done too much, it might cause a little bit of upset. So I think whatever would need to be done would need to be quite modest. That's just my opinion. Obviously, it would probably, depending on the scale of it, go to public consultation. One thing that I did have in mind, which obviously is all the craze these days, is some additional tree planting, perhaps in the form of a community orchard. So just a small part of that.
There's
Maybe
one
further
available
down,
for that at the
yeah.
minute as well.
And applications are able to be made to Breckland for funding, but I think
That's
that
open
funding
at the
ends,
minute.
it's open for the minute, but I think that January it ends, yeah.
On the 5th,
So we would have to express an interest
okay.
in that
I'm gonna do
planting
that application.
sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
If we were minded to put some additional fruit
They'll
or
come
nut trees
rooted
there,
anyway, so you can store them. They wouldn't have to be planted straight away while we negotiate.
heal them in,
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
just heal them in somewhere and they'll be.
Yeah, okay.
and then transfer in the spring. Is everyone okay with that, with some additional tree planting?
absolutely.
Well, I just think if there's money there to do it,
Yeah,
and I think it keeps it,
yeah,
it keeps it like a natural open space.
yeah.
And then if, when we come to it, we want to use some of that money for play or anything else, it could just be one of those like wooden
Yeah.
trim trail, like, you know, like
Yeah.
wooden trails for
Just
kids.
do the
or-
pockets of development rather than looking at the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
as well.
Well, I think the good thing about that piece of land on Blackthorn Road, it naturally splits itself into 3 sections anyway. How the planting that's already there is and how the shape of it, it sort of does dogleg itself round
Into like 3
Primrose
portions.
Close, doesn't it? And it sort of naturally splits itself into 3. So you could look at it as separate sections.
You could.
Yeah.
I also think even if we did want to develop it in other ways moving forwards, we could do so in a natural way that is in keeping with the environment without making too many very obvious changes. Like I think it could be done.
Yeah.
Right, that's brilliant. Thank you so much. Okay. Perhaps, I know we've just said about having a workshop for St Edmunds. I think we could actually tie those two together for redevelopment of open space, I think, and we could,
You could probably tie in Birch Drive as well.
where we probably
Yeah.
could. I think if we could have one session just to really work through these things and brush up some ideas would be
That'd be
great.
3 sheets of paper, Sharon.
Thank you. Next is item 14, which is the Birch Drive update on progress. Sharon?
Well, I think it would be a good idea to have a workshop.
Well, I think it should be included in that, but I will just note, and I need to forward this on to you, Sharon, because I haven't. The lady that made the original request for the tree planting,
Yeah.
did watch back our November meeting, and she said that basically the small oak tree that she initially suggested,
Yeah.
obviously there was no objections to it in the meeting, that would still be her preference. And I know the other tree variety that we discussed was a birch, as it's birch drive and has more sensory elements.
Yeah.
But she did say that would be her least chosen option, if we were to take those comments in mind into consideration.
Okay.
And that she felt that there is already 2 benches quite close together in the central garden. However, if the council did want to put a third bench in, she would have no objections to it, but she's kind of impartial on that.
Yeah.
So, just a little bit of feedback for us.
Yeah. So do you want me to, what do you want me to do? Because obviously I don't want to upset anybody and that is.
Well, I
gonna
think
be going-
members at the time were okay with the
They,
oak
they,
tree,
they,
weren't they?
they didn't really have a preference. It was just, well, this might be nice or that might be nice, but I think, members were happy to, I think it was agreed that there would be a tree planted. They agreed to the tree
Yeah.
planting, without much preference
Okay.
to the variety.
Yeah.
Either a small oak, not a
Yes.
full-sized
Yeah.
oak,
Small
or a
size.
silver birch. So, obviously the feedback from the resident is the small oak would definitely be the preference.
Okay, yeah. Well, I did do some research, but I can still further research it with somebody who knows about trees and come up with some
And bring it back
options.
once we've had our workshop as well,
Yeah,
tie it all together.
yeah, that's good.
Thank you. Next is the second public participation. Does anyone have anything they'd like to add?
I'd like to go back to item 11 if we could, which is the land at Evans Close. And going back to your comment, Councillor Taylor, about raised beds and allotments, whatever. Is there sufficient space to have a community allotment as such? Because I know the Bloomers put things in the square, in the planters, and they're always well used. Is there an option to give the community a space in there? Because I'm sure it will be appreciated and hopefully it will be used and respected, but just something to drop into the hat to think about, maybe.
Yeah,
Particularly if you're doing raised beds, because kids will better get involved, older people or disabled people, whatever. And if it's an open space or part of the community, I think it could be better.
thank you. I think that's certainly something that we can take forward into the workshop.
Yeah. Okay.
Sharon's making a note of it. as we
Yeah, I
speak.
know.
So, no, I think that is, good feedback. I think that it is a fair sized plot of land. So while I'm not gonna make any commitments,
No.
I think it is something that we could
It just seems like an
consider doing.
opportunity.
It is, I think there is the potential to do it if members are minded to.
Yeah.
Which would be nice because that area actually, there's a lot of,
Social housing, is that what you're thinking?
yes, but that's not, but what's the name of the building? That's the residential building on the corner of Norfolk Drive that backs onto there. There's a lot of supported living in that area, so that might benefit them as well.
Those reasons, yeah.
I was trying to think of the name of the building and I just couldn't think of it.
Thank you for the suggestion. Anything else? No?
If you don't have nothing and you're gonna finish up, could we just say, I'll just drop you in there, Sharon, that the work on the emergency access road for the new school, updates to the leisure centre starts on the 4th of January. So just as that joins the cemetery, doesn't it? Or backs onto the cemetery there, that work will be started. So the project's getting kick-started on the 4th of January.
Thank you. Is there any items that you might like to put forward for the next agenda? No, we'll leave, no, yes, no, we'll leave that to be confirmed. And we will see you back in January. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you for attending. This is our last meeting.
Oh, can I just mention, although I will send out an email to the full council, mince pies and mulled wine at 11 o'clock
On Friday.
on Friday.
There we go.
Everyone's invited.
Okay, I'll come
I'm working.
Oh, sorry. I'll kick-start my Christmas then.
Yeah.
Because come midday when I open, my Christmas will be, that'll be it.